Hi, everybody. This is Lowell, and we're talking about how to start a music school. And in particular, in this section, what are the core competencies that a musician should have? And in the last segment, I talked about the ability to read multiple parts at the same time. And that ties into this video, which I wanted to also share. It's basically a successful musician of any instrument, any discipline, vocal, anything, should be able to also lead other people. And so the way that that is done and has been done for centuries is through the skill of conducting. And so how does conducting work? Basically, conducting works on a visual channel. So the nice thing about the things that classical music has taught us is that there are things that happen on two different channels. So you have, and I'm using channels as a metaphor, these days we have, multiple channels of audio, but I'm talking about two different channels of communication. And so basically you have the visual channel or your eye channel, and then you have your listening channel, your ear channel. And so I've been in situations where you have a director, they call it a director, a music director on stage who is, everybody has headphones on, and the music director is barking commands audibly into everybody's ears while the music is going on. And so when that happens, there is a moment where the musicians will not be able to listen to the music anymore. They have to listen to what is being told them. And so the way that classical music solved that problem, there was communication that needed to happen to the players, but instead of using the audio channel, which basically interrupts the ear channel, when somebody's barking a command over the ear channel, instead of doing it that way, you are using a separate channel altogether, which is the visual channel. And so to be able to convey ideas and thoughts and direction through visual means. And so part of that visual means is notation. And I know that, a lot of contemporary musicians out there think that music notation is dead. We have music sequencers that don't use music notation anymore, and so there's no use for it. It's antiquated, and we don't need to learn how to read music. And usually it's people who don't have the self-discipline to learn how to read music, and they've learned how to play by ear, which is great, but they have not given themselves the capacity and the skillfulness to learn how to read music on their instrument. So they just try to sideline it and say that it's not valuable. But even the top music schools of our day, with contemporary music, not just classical music, but guitars and jazz players and rock players, see the value in music notation and are expecting their players to know how to read music on their instruments. So what I'm trying to say is that when you split the two avenues of communication to visual and oral, then just leave, the nice thing about classical music that has worked for centuries is that you let the music just always be on the audio channel. So everybody's ears are continually open. You don't have a conductor barking commands to everybody out loud, because then the audience would hear it, etc. But it causes the musician to be able to focus only on the music that he is creating, and also is able to listen uninterruptedly to the other musicians around him. So the communication in terms of leadership and in terms of specific direction comes from a visual means, which is the conductor. And so you have your sheet music and your conductor, which functions on the visual level. And so the visual level doesn't interrupt the audio level. So to summarize, what I'm saying is that a successful and successfully trained contemporary musician, in my opinion, should obviously know how to play by ear, improvise, but they should also know how to read fluidly, and they should also know how to lead others in a visual sense, which is through scores and uh, through actual direction, conducting. And so everyone should know some basic conducting skills, the various beat patterns and how to cue entrances and that type of thing.